Hey guys, it's Mr. Van Ack with Karate Land at Tequila. Just wanted to go through my favorite weapon with you guys, the sword. We're gonna go through some more of the traditional sword stuff right now. So that's gonna be for all of our adult students and our black belts. This is the current weapon we're working on. If you don't have something that is a sword, you can probably have something that resembles a sword, like your combat weapon or whatnot. That'll work for right now. If you can find like a simple stick, you know, a bat, something will help you to go through and practice the sword motions. Obviously, if you have a sword with the sheath, that's going to be best for the actual traditional sword form. If you don't have the sheath, just try to pretend to use your belt for now. We'll do with what we can. And then when you can come to the studio, you can always order a sword. The plastic sword is $70. The wooden sword is $35. If you want a cool sword like I got, it's either $199 for the regular wood one or $299 for like the one I have here. It comes with red, black, silver, or carbon fiber too. So if you would like to get that too, let us know. We can help you out with that too. So for the sword, first thing you want to do is you always want to make sure the blade, the curve, like I have my sheath here, is going up. Once I put it into my belt, I want that blade, the curve, still going up. I know right now with the camera, I'm putting it on my left side. You may not be able to see that because of the filming and whatnot, because all swordsmen were always right-handed. So whenever I hold the sword, or better yet, going first, when I draw the sword, I'm gonna take the sheath, I'm gonna take my hand, I'm gonna turn it sideways just a little bit, and then as I step forward, I'm gonna pull the sheath out. You guys can see the blade is actually going towards the camera right now. As I pull the sheath out, I'm gonna push the sheath in and pull the sword at the same time. So I'm going here, so I make that first cut already. When I go to sheath the sword, the goal is I have my hand, the web of my thumb and my finger on the sheath, on the edge of the sheath. That's like advanced version. Easy version is I just use my pointer finger and I take the back of the blade, let it come across. The goal is to do it all without looking at the sword. Bring the sheath forward, I bring it all the way back so it's ready to go. So right now we're just gonna work on drawing the sword, sheathing the sword. We'll do it one more time. I'll back up so you guys can see a little bit better. I turn the sheath, I'm pulling the sheath out, pulling the sword and pushing the sheath in so it's one cut and it's making that line across. Then I would make sure with the sheath, twist it back so the curve is going up. All right, when I sheath the blade, comes across my shoulder first with the back of the blade, comes down to that webbing, that finger and that thumb, and I guide it into the sheath, going easy. Right now, we're gonna work on the first 6 lines. The last 2, 5, and 6 get a little tricky. So once I draw the sword and cut, I'm making sure that my right hand's at the top of the sword, my left hand's at the bottom. Always make sure the blade is going forward. That way you're making sure you're cutting forward, not cutting yourself. And then we have line number 1, cuts across from the right side down the left side, cutting from the neck down towards the belt. You want to make sure that my right arm is pushing the blade down, my left arm is pulling the blade back, having that push and pull each time. So it's 1, other side, 2, we have 3 straight sideways, 4 straight sideways, 5 comes up, and when I come up, I want the blade to still face my opponent. 6 is the hardest one because I'm gonna turn my arms, it's gonna cross and make an X behind me, and then it, same thing, cuts up. All right, so just working on those first 6 cuts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, if you want to add 7, 8, 9 in, 7 will be once I've cut here, bring the blade all the way behind me. I'll turn sideways so you can see. I'm gonna step with my right foot, and I'm gonna come straight up, where it's cutting straight down the center. And then the number 8 cut goes straight down, sideways so you guys can see, straight down, stopping at the blade above my belt. That way, if I miss and they run at me, they're running, stabbing themselves with their sword. One more time, going straight towards you, cutting and stopping. The last one is just stabbing forward, sideways, stabbing forward, pulling the blade out. Once I'm done, I would flick the blood off, or in Japanese, I call it echiburi. Flick the blood off, and then go ahead and sheath the sword. All right, for my black belts and the adults, we're actually gonna work on the traditional segment of the form. So the traditional form, the first segment is actually gonna go at an angle. I'm gonna go at the angle so you guys can see me better too. I'll stand a little bit on this side. First thing we do, have my hand on the sheath, hand on the sword, knees slightly bent, I'm looking. I'm gonna hit them with the hilt of the sword. So I pull the whole sword out, hit them, whether it's in the chin, in the solar plex, trying to aim from here. You're gonna draw the sword. I'm not cutting forward though. I'm keeping it here because the person behind me is coming. So I'm stabbing behind me in a weird back stance. I'm gonna stab with one hand, take my left foot, step behind in a front stance, cut across with that number 1 line. I'm just gonna step forward, bring the sword across, cut across the number 2 line, making sure I'm in a front stance. And this is the hardest part, it's my favorite part. You're gonna jump, you're stab the person coming at you, you're gonna cut with that number 1 line again behind you. So again, once I'm here, I go jump, stab, cut. And the hardest part is trying to land in a front stance. You guys can kind of see a little bit better now. All right, just working on that first line. It is a little weird. The only cuts you really have right now is that number 1, number 2. You have a stab from one arm, stab with one arm, number 1, number 2, jump, stab, and cut with that number 1 line. There's nothing too crazy to practice. The footwork makes it a little bit difficult, so if you have a hard time, just do all the cuts without the footwork. Working on making sure I do the first line, hit, draw, stab, stab, turn. Line 1, line 2, stab, turn. Line 1. There's nothing too effectively crazy going on here. So I'm excited to see you guys practice a little bit at home. But if you don't have anything that resembles a sword, I guarantee you got something, or use your imagination. Go air sword with both hands. 1, 2, that'll at least help you get the movements down. All right, also makes for good XMA moves. All right, I can't wait to see you guys when we get back to regular classes. Make sure you guys check out this video for all my black belts and my adults doing the sword training. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys soon.